This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2019 Volvo XC40 T5 Inscription. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive. We'll be writing a complete article about the XC40. But let's get back to that 2.0 liter turbo inline 4. Well, it's actually the same engine that the T4 gets. So there's two different levels of the XC40, the T5 and the T4. While they get the same engine, the T5 makes a lot more horsepower and it feels a lot spunkier. All right, so 2-liter turbo in the Volvo. Let's put it over into dynamic, which is high performance. You sort of hear the turbo start spooling up, and then, I don't know if you probably noticed on my facial expression, then it sort of takes you. It does spool a little bit higher up, but I like that. And I like the power. It has a good amount of power. You know, this is a smaller SUV. This is Volvo's smaller SUV, so this is, let's say, comparable to the RAV4, to the CR-V, to the probably CX-5, honestly, Mazda. That's pretty quick. That's I mean, all things considered, for an SUV, that's decently quick. It definitely doesn't mess around, and the 8-speed transmission is really smooth. It is nice. Although I don't like the shifter, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Last but not least about the T5 Inscription XC40 is that this is all-wheel drive. They do make a front-wheel drive variant, but this is the all-wheel drive version. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I don't actually have gauges. It's actually just a screen. So on the left is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer. I really like it. I think it's clean. I think it's simple. The only thing is that I feel like if you're going to do 100% digital gauges, I feel like you should give us some customization on how we want our gauges laid out, because they don't have to look like traditional gauges. They could be whatever you want. It's just a screen. So the gauges are still circles. I feel like it doesn't need to be, but that's okay. On the steering wheel, we get a couple different buttons for that center screen, as well as for the infotainment system. This is also where you control cruise control. So you actually sort of scroll over to either adaptive cruise control or pilot assist, and then you just hit OK. I actually sort of like this. Instead of messing around with a stalk or something like that, you just hit OK on the screen. I think that makes it a lot more simple. And you don't have like resume, cancel, on, off, you know, all this stuff. You just select what you want and hit yes. To the left, I do have my window switches, nothing crazy here. I do have memory seats, and the audio system is Harman Kardon. Really nice audio system. I did a 2018 Volvo XC90, has the same audio system. Very, very nice there. Interestingly, on the door, it sort of has this material that looks like something you'd put on like a sub box, or like, I don't know, it just reminds me of like musical stuff. Maybe that's sound deadening. I'm not a really musical person, so I'm not 100% sure what that could be, but it's just this really interesting material. In the center, we do get a giant touch screen display. This is also where you select your heated seats, heated steering wheel, climate controls. It's all run through the center screen. So I'm actually gonna pull over here to talk more about it, because there's so much going on in the center screen that I don't wanna hit anything. So we have car status. We can click on that, messages, status, tire pressure monitoring system, appointments, see if I have any appointments. I can go up here to navigation, look at my navigation, set destination, all that stuff. I can come down here to my audio, select my radio stations or stuff like that, library. Then I can come down here to my phone. I don't have a phone connected, so if you swipe left or right, you can do a bunch of other stuff too. So right now I'm in the settings, so I can actually control start, stop, wiper service position. Oh, so when you hit that, it actually puts the wipers up so you can service it. Hit that again, wipers will go back down. Traction control in sport mode, park in. So this actually has parking assist, which is absolutely awesome. Corner illumination, those are your corner lights. Camera, I can just hit camera and just look at my camera right now. I can do a 360 view, which is really neat. And I can toggle what I want displayed. So if I want those lines that'll turn with the wheel, kind of show me where my wheels are gonna go, I can do that. Let's go back here. Active bending lights, lane keep aid, road information, blind spot monitoring, private locking, cross traffic alert, headrest fold. Let's see if it'll do it. It doesn't go back up though. Cruise control and collision avoidance system. That's all in the vehicle functions. Swipe over. We have applications, so we have Bluetooth, USB, iPod, sound experience, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. Big fan of that. Travel Link, Download Center, driver performance. So we look at my average MPGs, see how well I'm doing. Tons and tons of stuff in this infotainment system, and I really like that. Down below the infotainment system, we do have a couple physical buttons, so you don't have to go through all of the screens all of the time. Volume, adjustment, play, defrosters, front and rear, skip track, as well as drive mode. So we have 4 different drive modes: comfort, and it says everyday use; dynamic for high performance; eco for efficient driving; and off-road for rough roads. So we're gonna leave it in comfort just because I like to be comfortable. Then we get a 12-volt charger, USB port, actually USB ports. And then actually what I'm utilizing right now is a wireless charger for your phone. So my phone's actually charging right now, which is pretty heckin' neat. Then we come to the shifter, which I don't know how I feel. I think it looks aesthetically, I think it looks amazing, I think it looks cool, I think it looks cutting edge. Actually using it though, it's kind of clunky. You have to hit it twice to go into gear, and then park is a separate button. In actual practice, it's not the best shifter. I'm not a big fan of it. It's like the saying, easier said than done. Aesthetically, it looks great, but actually using it kind of gets tiresome. To the right, I do have 2 cup holders, and then I have my electronic parking brake as well as automatic electronic parking brake and brake hold. So what this does is when you come to a stop, you let your foot off of the brake and the car will hold. Simply get back on the gas and it'll release the brake. I really like that feature. Then I get a little slot. It's a trap door that literally leads to nowhere. I mean, you could put some stuff in there like a phone or something, but it's really pointless. And then you get a center console. I really do like the seats. Like I said, they are power. They are a nice leather. And the most interesting thing about this is that actually Volvo matches, when you go to the higher trims, they actually match the leather on the key fob to the leather on the seats. That's a nice little touch. I do really like that. It does give a feeling of luxury. We'll talk about the price of this car a little bit later, but I think it should be included for the price. Now, speaking of seats, this is a 4-door, so we will do a back seat review. All right, so we are in the back of the XC40, and legroom is great. The passenger seat could be moved up, but this is my driving position. Have tons of knee room, which is really nice and somewhat hard to find in this SUV segment of these smaller SUVs. I have vents down here that I can move around, increase volume and not. I have a micro USB charger down there. I do have a center console, 2 cup holders. That same material found in the front doors carries on in here. Speaking of doors, obviously windows, 1 touch down, 1 touch back up. But interestingly enough, I don't know if I've seen this on a car before. There's a lock and unlock button for just this door. I can lock just my door. I don't know why this door would need to be locked when others aren't. But I get my own door lock, which is kind of neat. Other than that, pretty comfortable back seats. The leather carries on back here. I do notice that the front seats actually have little Swedish flags on them, which is cool. Nice cargo cover over the trunk. But overall, it's a nice back seat. Overall, I really like the interior. I love all the different materials you get. You get this wood on the door, which actually feels like they barely sanded it. But there's wood on the door. Like I said, that sort of sub-box fabric inside the doors. You do have plastic that looks like leather on the dash, but then you actually get nice leather seats. And overall, this is a really nice interior. It's really comfortable. I love the panoramic moonroof, or is that sunroof? Basically a glass top. I really do like that. We can scoot that open since we finally got a nice day to film. It's very sizable. It's very nice. I like how it adds a lot of light to the cabin. And overall, this is a pretty nice car to be in. I love the looks. We got to talk about the looks. I really do think that the XC40 looks good. I think it looks futuristic. I think it looks sort of like, you know, if this were in the background of the movie I, Robot, I wouldn't have blinked an eye. I mean, I would have blinked an eye. That movie absolutely terrified me and ruined my childhood, the movie I, Robot with Will Smith. But if this were like in the background of a futuristic movie, I wouldn't be like, oh, that looks out of place. Because you know that does 100% happen. Sometimes I'll see a futuristic movie and they're driving a 2014 Kia and I'm like, come on. I think it looks great. I really like the interior. The interior is great. The only thing is that this is a little bit pricey. Now the T5 Inscription, this is the top dog. This is the top of the top. So of course it is going to be pricey. It has the better engine. It has the nice leather. It has pilot assist as well as cruise control. It's a very well spec'd out SUV. But that being said, originally this was around, I believe, $45,000. I just feel like personally it's a little bit too pricey to be still in that small SUV segment. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2019 Volvo XC40 T5 Inscription. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville. As you guys know, they have tons and tons of used cars. This is one of them. So thank you guys so much for getting me into the Volvo. I was really interested to see this car. I had only driven one Volvo before, and I will leave that review at the end of the video if you want to see an XC90. But I was interested to see what the smaller Volvo is like. And I honestly have to say I'm a big fan. I just wouldn't pay what Volvo wants, which is nice because you don't have to, because Toyota has this on sale for cheaper than MSRP. So definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link to this specific XC40 in the description below. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
Aside from my soul.